Hello, welcome to Art and Leisure. It's always my pleasure bringing this program to you. My name is Chioma Okwara. My crew and I have worked so hard to make sure that this will be your most well-spent time today. So, recline your cushion as we entertain you with this dance. Welcome back from Cross River State. I've said it and I will reiterate that Calabar is a beautiful city and the people there are warm. As far as I'm concerned, that's the cleanest city in this country. Okay, welcome back to where I live. The art community in Lagos lost an icon. Okhai Ojeikere was the photographer for more than 63 years. We're looking forward to June when he will be 84, but the inevitable happened. Well, what I'm about to show you is his last exhibition. It was a joint one. Take a look. The title of the exhibition is Networks and Voids, Modern Interpretations of Nigerian Hairstyles and Headdresses.
This is just visual art. The other side is the real photographic image. In the photographic image, the picture's image shows exactly what it is. But in the visual art, a lot of parts of it has been exaggerated and has been touched up. All the same, they seem to be interwoven.
Okhai Ojeikere has been a photographer for 63 years. His documentations over the years have become national treasures.
Many years back in the early 50s, the Nigerian woman was wearing plaited hair. Then towards the late 50s, then they started to wear wigs. Then as a photographer, I felt I have lost something, that I did not record what happened in the past about women plaiting hair. Now, wig has taken over. Then I said, oh, it was a mistake. Suddenly, independence was getting nearer. African women began to think African, and they went back to plaiting their hair. I said, no, let me start to record them, just for record purposes, because tomorrow, you cannot tell if women will start to shave their hair. And no person can remember that there was a time they were plaiting their hair.
He shot more in black and white with analog camera, and this lends to the cultural and historical significance of the work.
In most cases, I was just photographing for fun.
Gary Stevens is an American who lives and works in Johannesburg. He's a painter who employs a modern approach to his work. He's worked on different subjects. This time around, headgears and headdresses caught his fancy.
The first braid drawing I ever made was a friend of mine, an artist who came to my studio, and I took a picture and I drew her hair. And I liked the drawing very much, so I went to a bookstore in South Africa looking for information about braiding or looking for photos of braiding. And I was introduced there to Badagry's work because they sold me a book of his black and white hair photos. So that was the first time that I ever knew about him. And ever since then, he's been sort of a hero of mine. And I considered him like, you know, the father of documenting African hair. So I'm sort of following in his tradition. So it's very nice for me to be here showing with him.
His drawings are on charcoal on paper and linoleum prints.
These are all charcoal drawings on paper, so it's only black charcoal on white paper. And I work with these fractured images, so I put small white stripes in the images, or I use these threads, which kind of, when you move, it's meant to create like a shimmering effect. It's meant to make the drawings not look stiff, but to look sort of alive, like you see a vibration when you move in front of them. I always draw very large. I like them as sort of monumental icons. So I like this scale. It's very important to me that they're this size.
Okhai Ojeikere has been a photographer all his life, a career path he started at the age of 20.
I live photography, I do photography, I talk photography, everything about me is photography.
Nice to have you back. Okhai Ojeikere was my friend. He was that humble. I choose not to mourn, but celebrate him. He will be talked about forever because he was a legend. Now let's talk about the month of February. The entire month is dedicated to blacks, so it's called the Black History Month. It is expected that blacks all over the world focus more on issues that bother them as a race. To this end, the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization organized a lecture. It took place at the University of Ibadan. Stick around.
They are from different walks of life, and they came to listen to a lecture titled Pan-Africanism and the Challenges of Global African Unity. Professor Kwesi Kwapra, the director of the Center for Advanced Studies of African Society, noted that Africa has geographical unity but lacks ethnic unity.
The problem we call problem ethnicism, the problem of tribalism, it will vanish if we have an umbrella organization where we all find place in space as Africans, all of us. Then the demographics of tribalism vanish. No one ethnic group can dominate the whole compounded African nation.
The Minister of Tourism, Culture and National Orientation, High Chief Eden Duke, who was represented by the Director of Culture in the ministry, is of the opinion that more organizations should make their voices heard in this call for unity in the continent.
All over Africa, there are movements, Pan-African movements that are focused, that are envisioned to see how we can carry not only the Africa in Africa, but even Africans in the diaspora along the line that we can do it together, we can come together and move this continent forward. You see, we have been oppressed for too long. We have been relegated to the background for too long. Now we're looking for ways to lead the world, the ways to tell the world that we are not just black people, we are black, united and strong people.
The contributions of black people to world civilization cannot be underestimated. Africans have triumphed over forces of domination, discrimination, and exploitation. Many believe it is time for the continent to become a force to reckon with.
Outsiders play up our differences and make us think that we are not the same. We are the same. Even our languages are of the same origin. They have the same origin. Look at Europe. It's not everybody that speaks English. Some speak French, some speak German, some speak even Russian. And yet they are united under the European Union. And there's only one visa that takes you to close to 20 European countries. Yet these are developed people. And we backward African countries operate as single entities with states that have boundaries that are not bigger than the size of a postage stamp. I therefore propose that we have no choice in the matter. It's either we unite and become stronger, or we fail to unite and begin to disintegrate and be at the receiving end of the oppression, exploitation of other races.
African Union celebrated 50 years of its existence last year. The federal government of Nigeria has given a nod to a national conference. One wonders why it is taking long for Africans to be united.
I believe that it's a historical process. And the fact that we have so many languages, so many ethnicities, and the fact that we're always scrambling for scarce resources have been factors in the divisiveness that we always have. I believe that if we consciously imbibed this, after all, the Jews were dispersed, but they all returned to one homeland one day and became so united that they wanted to confront a common enemy. There are people who've been uprooted from their homelands before, who then come in and become united and strong. So I do believe that it's a question of time and a question of history, but far more than that, a question of historical consciousness, a question of leadership that is constructive and that can engage us as a people rather than as people scrambling for resources.
After the lecture, the crowd moved to the Institute of African Studies to see a photo, video, and visual arts exhibition.
The exhibition is about rock art in Africa. It's an imagined area in the area of culture and the arts. It's one of the oldest heritage of African peoples that has been neglected over the years. And of late, we have discovered that probably most of the things that will enable us to rewrite our histories as African people are hidden in this rock art.
The Black History Month began in the United States as Negro History Week. It was pioneered by Dr. Carter Godson Woodson, an African-American historian. He protested the exclusion of the contributions of African Americans from history textbooks in the United States. Since it began nearly 90 years ago, the celebration of the Black History Month as an annual event has grown and gained global acceptance. The Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization always celebrated with a lecture.
All right, now to what people do at leisure. Recently, I went to Badagry here in Lagos State to watch Igbo people choose, crown, and celebrate their leaders. It was an interesting time. You know, people came from different parts of the country to be a part of that event. A must-see, I tell you.
Chief Stephen Sunday G.K. Tolue is about to be crowned the new Igbo leader in Badagry local government area of Lagos State. 2 prime ministers will also receive staffs of office. Igbo people resident in Badagry chose them as their leaders.
The man is a humble man. He's somebody that can understand what people are saying. After that, he can help people in one way or the other.
Chief Emeka Obuehi Onochie, the man has been giving a lot of help to Igbos in Badagry.
These kingmakers came from different parts of the country. Chief Debe Odumegwu Ojukwu, popularly called Akponwa Igbonine, is the son of late Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu.
If you are leading and you don't have the support of the led, that leadership is in vacuum. So he is the popular choice of the people in Badagry. And I'm here symptomatic of the fact that my father, Dim Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, laid the foundation of what we are experiencing here today. So I'm here to make sure that I carry that mantle.
Speaking Igbo language throughout, they prayed to God and thereafter crowned Chief Stephen Tolue, Igbo leader in Badagry.
Badagry.
Chief Etole's new title is Ezechimelu.
I would like my people to go astray, understand, and that's why I choose the responsibility to take care of them. In fact, the most important to be peaceful in the land. I want the peace, coexistence between the indigenous and non-indigenous in Badagry. They've said that by 2015 our language, our culture will grow. And the Igbos in diaspora have made it a point of view that we must maintain Igbo culture traditions. Understand? So that's why what we are on it now, and we apply a lot of programs for that.
His wife, Mary, also received the title Lolo.
I'm so glad. I thank God for everything. Thank God.
2 prime ministers received stars of office. Chief Ojeikere bears the title Onowu, and Chief Onochie is the Onosoreze Ndigbo in Badagry.
It's a special day. The entire Igbo people in Badagry chose me, they picked me for the position. I'm happy.
We have been performing well, and that necessitated the title which have been given today formally. We are going to improve inter-relationship between us and the Yorubas in Badagry.
Their wives pledged to give them immense support.
He's now a father to many. So you're going to lead many people, especially the poor, the orphans, and the other people that have challenges in our country, Nigeria. So whenever I see people passing through some problems, by God's grace, I'm going to encourage him to help to be a father to them.
I have to encourage him all around to be serious with his work and to be trustworthy and to be truthful.
Awards and a chieftaincy title were also given. Indeed, it was a joyous occasion for all. To show their gratitude to God, Leader Stephen and the Igbo community in Badagry went to church the next day. Thereafter, indigenes of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo states celebrated the coronation with an Ofala festival.
What we are doing, the Igbo leaders in diaspora, is all about preservation of Igbo culture and traditions. Very soon we are going to have our New Yam Festival. We are going to have Igbo Day. These are opportunities to showcase Igbo culture and tradition. Because when you have people's attention, you'll be able to deliver a message to them.
The host community gave a nod to this event.
I'm here because I was invited. And at the same time, the Igbo community in my local government are very cordial to me. I'm also cordial to them. I share their culture. It shows that Igbo community are very united. And it does not play with their own dialect, their culture, tradition. They make sure that their language does not perish.
Eze Chimelu, Onowu, and Onosoreze will serve Igbo people in Badagry as long as they live.
Welcome back. I hope we've given you value for your time today. That's how we do it every week on Art and Leisure. To watch more episodes, you can visit our website www.artandleisure.com.ng. Please leave comments afterwards. My name is Chioma Okpara. By God's grace, this program returns next week. Love yourself. Love Nigeria.